Hey everyone. So I just want to get into it really. I did a test print of my webcomic in this box with my address on the back. Basically, I finished the first 5 chapters of my webcomic Auntie, and I had planned to do that for a while where I would finish them and I would do like a test print of the pages. The main reason I wanted to do a test print was just to be sure that I had the correct sizing and everything really. But I also thought it would just be a really nice idea to have a physical, tangible, holdable copy of my comic, of everything that I've done so far page wise on it, just to kind of keep me motivated and to show myself / remind myself like, yeah, this is real, this is, you did this, you know. I was inspired to do this by, I think it's Mew Triple on YouTube. She did like a video on how she did a test print of her comics, and also by my friend Los G Akin and my friend Buttercup worked on this comic. Also just having comics in general, like this is a really good read, by the way. I need more comics. I don't have money like that. Yeah, I just wanted to have a look and see like what it would end up looking like. By the way, this is my first time opening this, so this will be like a genuine reaction from me. I have no idea what it looks like. I've obviously did before I do the unboxing, if you will, I'll just show you guys like how I did it before I actually open it. I used Mixam. Here's what the order looked like on Mixam. And I had like the proof. I uploaded the cover as its own file, and then I uploaded all the pages together. Here's the Clip Studio Paint file. The cover I had to do on a separate file because there were some issues with sizing, so just keep that in mind if you do plan on doing this. There's also borders that you have to think about. There's the borders on the outside and everything like that. Just make sure that it was all aligning properly really. And it's just a test print again, so I just had this little thing there. It's slightly off center to account for the fact that it's going to be on the left side of the page, the right side of the page, sorry. And for some of the in-between pages, I just put some artwork of my OCs on there. So here's Aria, and then I did the first one as a cover. I edited the artwork, so I don't know if anybody knows this drawing, but it didn't look like this before. She had like the nose, which is like an old design thing I used to do. I won't go into too much as to why I stopped doing it, but I just wanted them to look like people. I didn't want them to still look like how they used to look, like anthropomorphic. I just want them to be humans, so I just stopped doing the nose thing. So the old design is a bit drawing, but this is just a test print for me really, just to see if there's anything I wanted to change in the future, if it looks good in a print form. Like I had the webtoon, it was more vertical before, but yeah, that's all the pages you can read. By the way, this is all free to read still on Webtoon, Tapas, and auntycomic.com. like, you know, here it is on Tapas. Lovely comments, by the way, from people, keeps me going. And auntycomic.com, and also Webtoon, but I can't be bothered to open that tab. I'll just briefly show you guys as well how I did the cover artwork. I did do the cover art in Procreate. This was the artwork that I did for the little thumbnail that you see when you click on Auntie on Webtoon, and Tapas as well. I redrew it. It's based off an old drawing, which was this one. So it's to kind of account for the fact that their character designs have changed a little bit. And I just used that thumbnail piece for the cover art. And then I did a little layout in Procreate using some drawings from my sketchbook. And I quite like that idea. So I'll probably keep that kind of theme going, where I just have like drawings from my sketchbook and I kind of lay them out like that. And so this is what it ended up looking like. And I just arranged them really. So I did the spline on its own thing. It's just a drawing of Jade in here. Again, this is just a test. It's not like a final volume print or anything like that. And yeah, that's how I did it. And I used Mixam's little template thing. There we go. So that's how I did the cover. Yeah, let me shut the hell up and open this damn box. I'm excited to see what this ended up looking like. I'm just gonna rip it open. All right. Oh, it feels nice. They gave me 2. So there's one. There's another one. They gave me 2 copies for some reason. Did it turn out okay? Yes. Okay, so let me just show you guys the spline. Oh my days. I will say the colors are really not... the colors are bad. However, yeah, Mixam did tell me that they use a different printing type. They said, is this a test copy order for a larger print run? Due to different press technologies, Mixon does not guarantee color matching between separate orders. Single or small quantity orders use a digital press, while larger orders may use an offset press for economical, high quality prints. So that would explain why the colors are so... it's quite dark, I will say that. Flicking through, you know what? Yeah, it's quite dark basically. This page especially is quite dark, so I'll say the colors aren't exactly the best, but there's an explanation why. There's some inconsistencies here and there. Like, I don't know if you guys can see on Keisha's face. You cannot see that at all. I can see it. There's like a line, a red line going down her face. And if you can pick that up on the camera, I don't think it's showing up, so it's not ideal. I'm gonna flip the camera down so we can actually just go through the pages. Okay, I had already recorded this section of the video before, but the encoding on it was rubbish, so you couldn't even see anything. You know what? Seeing the pages like physically, I can see so many mistakes, but let's not get into that. Yeah, I got 2 copies, which is awesome. So in case I want to give this to someone else, I can. But I think I'll just do like a flick through of it and just kind of say or think about some things. I've already had a look at it myself now because I did that failed recording, but there's some things that I would definitely do differently in future for whenever I do finally do like a finished copy of volume 1 and consecutive volumes. So one of the things I would do is I would likely increase the size of... I'd probably do a bigger book and use the same size but have the borders be a bit bigger. If I compare this to like an official comic, there's lots of space around the edges, and there's also page numbers which I forgot to add, but again, just a test run. There's lots of space here basically. This is something I'll consider doing too, like a fill-in pages. If I show you a page where as well where things are... I do this thing more often now where people are coming outside of the page just to make up for space. In order to see what's inside here, you have to really turn the spline inwards, and you don't want to do that. And there's not much room for things to come out the page, and it's the same with this one with the sound effects coming out. You've got to turn the pages in to see what it looks like, and there's not much room given there. And here, like, things are almost cut off. I won't forget the page numbers, obviously, in a final run. There was another really bad example. This is not the best. You don't really want the text like right there, but it didn't get cut off, so that's a good thing. With chapter 4, I experimented more with like full pages. So with this, you've got this part of the drawing which is essentially almost cut off, and there's a part of the car that's here that got cut off, which is beyond the page border. That was intentional, but it doesn't really look good to me in a final print. And then with these pages, there's something happening here that I wanted to show. It's extended here on purpose, but Jalen is basically saying here, like, that looks like so much fun, and it's a guy playing an Earth game, an Earth Auntie game, but you have to turn the page inwards. You can see it fine on the online version, but it's not the best. I also did like a little nod to Avatar here because, you know, elements and my friend's comic. But yeah, that's something I want to think about for official run, if you will. There's also some paneling improvements I would do in future, but that's just me learning as I go. For example, this page, well, I'll just stay on this page. Keisha and Jaden are reacting here to what this guy said, and then it's the same thing here, and it's not, it just doesn't feel right. I can't explain, I guess, comic rules wise why this doesn't feel right, but I guess it's just the repetition of it. There's also some examples of like speech bubble placement that I'm not too proud of, particularly in chapter 2. I'm being really hypercritical of myself at the moment. Most people who have commented, especially on Tappers, have been really like nice and kind about how they've said that this is like really easy to read and everything. There's a lot of squashing happening there. I also forgot to mute the speech bubble. It doesn't matter. Yeah, just general in like comic improvements that I would make. Just your usual like, okay, this could have been placed better so that it was clearer. One of my friends had said something about chapter 5. If I want to make the capoeira style, the gold auntie work in this doesn't make any sense to anybody but me. My friend was reading this panel like, what is she doing here? And he was right. It's basically that she's turning around and she's spinning all the way, but it's not very clear here. So I don't know, it's just little tiny things with the action, speech bubble placements, the size of the comic pages. So I will probably do like a bigger print size next time. I like how the artwork looks. So I've done this thing where the placement pages, placeholder, or whatever you call them, the in-between pages, have artwork on them that I've drawn. I've edited them to reflect their current designs. The same with the cover art, only for chapters 3 onwards. There's some things here as well, like the vision for the comic wasn't really fleshed out in chapter 1, so they look so like the scenery. This is fine. The police officers though, they do not look like this now. I don't really know what I was going for here, but when you see the police officers in future chapters, they're not gonna look like that, like, at all. There's a few things. The vision that I'm going for Auntie is that it's like a Black British Caribbean sort of vibe. There's not really anything in the first few pages other than maybe the dialogue that really screams British. So that's something I'm working on, is just like the general art direction. I think it gets better the further on it goes. Yeah, the fashion choices in chapter 1 compared to like 5, or this isn't the best example. It's just very different. Here's the spline, so you can see Jalen's drawing on there, and it printed around well. And then obviously here's the cover. I'm probably gonna keep this color thing going on with the cover, and then maybe volume 2 it will be red to reflect Sun Auntie, Fire Auntie, and then the volume 3 would be blue for water. And I'll probably keep that color scheme going on. Yeah, it don't look too bad. I'm happy with it. I'm proud of myself for getting to this point. So yeah, I'm gonna flip the camera back up. Yeah, so that's the test print, man. I'm proud of myself. One thing that I'll say that I've learned since starting the comic is just how to draw comics better. But another thing I've learned is that I hate drawing backgrounds. I feel like when I was on Twitter, I had at least 2 tweets a month complaining about how much I hated drawing backgrounds, and I don't want to do that shit again. What's basically gonna happen, my plans, let's go into my plans, because this isn't obviously the end of the comic. I've got like 40 chapters planned for this part of the story, and I do want to continue it afterwards, but that depends on how long it takes me. It's taken me 3 years to get to this point, and that was when I was doing freelance. I have full-time work now. That takes up pretty much all my time, unfortunately, but I couldn't find freelance work often enough to justify continuing it. I don't intend to live here forever, so plans basically are, at the minute, I'm just kind of concepting the next few chapters of Auntie, or the rest of it really. So I'll show you guys some of the sketches I've done, or like character designs. It's mostly me just drawing like heads. There's nothing like concrete or set in stone just yet, but I'm just designing some of the characters at the moment. It's one of the police officers who's going to appear. So yeah, I want to start doing the backgrounds in Blender more, but I don't enjoy drawing them. And I think also once I have assets planned that I want for the comic, it will be a lot more fun to do. So why not implement like a 3D sort of thing to the comic as well? And if I get to a point with Blender where I'm decent at it, I can probably do some tutorials here and there. And yeah, again, I would recommend, just as like a final note before I end the video, I know that it's like not a very promising time to make art at the moment with AI and all that crap that's in the world, but if you do a webcomic or just do comics in general, I would say definitely get yourself a little test copy. It's only costed me like £10 plus £5 shipping. Or you might be able to even find like a local printer who would be able to do you a good deal. Just have your work like printed and tangible as a way to say, look, I did this, and you know, it's valid. I don't think that like AI art is gonna last in the long run, really. It's a trend that people want to, you know, use. Unfortunately, people want to see themselves in art, but they're not really willing to pay an artist. They want to click a button and get it instantly, and it's unfortunate, but there will always be value in what you do as an artist. I think it's a good idea to just print your work out, do your stuff traditionally, and remember why you do it. I don't do this for popularity. I do this because I've just wanted to do a comic since I was like 5, and oh, I'm 26 now. It's getting to a point where it's like, just do it, man. In between work is a slug. I work in IT. You see that AI rubbish everywhere. People using Copilot to bloody do their damn emails, or it needs to be with consent from the people that it's trained off, especially artists like us who have been like the first ones to be displaced by this stupid crap. And not even consent, I just don't think we need robots doing art for us. But yeah, keep drawing, please. Sometimes when you do a lot of digital art, it can seem, especially with like social media, it can seem like you're being very unproductive if you're not posting to social media every minute of the day and not seeing the rewards from it, like the likes, the engagement you want. That's something that I've let go of for the past 2 years, is like engagement and likes and everything like that. I had to really sit down with myself and say, why do I draw? And why do I want to keep drawing? It's therapeutic, and I want to tell a story with my characters in it. So think about that. Think about why you draw and keep doing it. Yeah, man. I hope you like this. I hope to find as much time as possible to continue working on this comic. If you want to, you know, read Auntie so far, Webtoon, Tapas, Comic Fury, Patreon, check my card for my socials. Will always be free to read, but it's nice to have a physical copy. Yeah, good luck to everybody. Have a good day.